Thank you for being here. Okay, so we've gone through that process. Now we're in the process of supervisors asking questions. We have a motion to deny from Supervisor Crest and second by Stoker. Now discussion. John.
Yeah, I would like to try to speak as brief as I can. We did go through a lot of hearing, and we heard a lot of information. We actually made a site visit. I don't know if any of you have been out on N in this particular area. I would say it's one of the more narrow county trucks that we have. It has no shoulders. Riding up through the when we were riding up there through the van, we happened upon that there's 75 Amish that live in this community. I can't imagine what that would be like with 10 or 20 trucks. I don't even know how those trucks will pass each other on this. This is a very small county trunk road. I don't know, Jeff, if you're wanting to broaden that road out. I started out, I got a call this morning that summarized how I was feeling through the hearing and through the whole process since we've been looking at this for quite some time. At first I thought, wow, this is a pretty good one. It's just a dig and haul. It's up on a hillside. We did talk about, wow, I don't know how those trucks are gonna drive on here. The man called me this morning and I summarized probably how my whole feeling went. He said, I live across the road. I was in favor of this when he first sold the land. He says, but over time I've talked to my neighbors. He says, people in this town are against it 6-1. He said, I worry about public safety. 20 trucks an hour riding up and down on those roads. He said he made a call to Badger Mining and some other place, and they said, unless you have an available railroad spur, it's very difficult because you have to run so many trucks. And he said to me, and I say this too, I'm not against sand mining. I have voted for them. There will be sand mining in Jackson County. We have the sand. This is just a bad location, and the people don't want it. And that's what finally, even in the meeting, the first people to talk were the people in favor of it, and I started thinking, yeah, we can do this. And then as we had the people talk for it, I'd like to say on the town vote, we have the chair here who's been for it ever since. We happen to have had one of the other board members at the meeting. My understanding from listening to that was there was much discussion. Nobody could come to an agreement. There was no vote. There was no yes vote. And it went on for 40 minutes. Finally, Paul Millis, who is also their counsel, said, well, here is a compromise statement that you can make, that you are taking note, that you do not oppose. What that means to me is they didn't take a position. They left it wide open. So no, whoever said zoning voted against the town, no, we didn't. The zoning, the town never took a position. I said at the zoning meeting that I think we owe it to you, the county board, to take a position. Because we could have just as easily not taken a position too and left it for you all to make a decision. And I said, but I think we owe it to them because that's what the committee process is. There was an agreement on our committee, but there was a majority, which is what democracy is all about. It felt that if the people don't want it and it poses a public safety issue, then we should deny it, and that was the vote that we took. I really urge you all to vote to deny this zoning request. It doesn't mean we're not going to have sand mining in Jackson County. It means this one isn't a good one. Thanks.
Any other supervisors? Jeff?
I would yield my time to Randy Anderson to talk about the road situation.
Oh, you got ahead of me.
I really wish I could say a little bit more. Actually, in July of this year, I sent John the letter and asked for information about their operation as far as how many trucks a day they were gonna, where they're going to go with those trucks. I have yet to get any answer to those questions. So as far as what I can provide for you, it's very limited. One, I don't know exactly. I know they want to come out on N, but I don't know where on N they want to come out on their property. Secondly, at the public hearing, I heard that they may go north, they may go south. There was a site to the west. So really, as far as, I'm really limited in what kind of information I give you because I have not received any and had not heard from the gentleman until one of the representatives sat down next to me at the public hearing the other day. So I can't really provide a lot of information. That road is.
Do we have short-range plans to widen or improve County Highway N?
We have no plans to work on that stretch of County Highway N.
Also, could you, ballpark to make this road sturdy enough for all those trucks and widen it out, how many dollars a mile?
That's a great question. If you can tell me what the sub-base and the base of that road is, I can tell you probably a
Okay.
ballpark, but not really, and I'm not trying to.
But it's a lot of money.
Absolutely. You can talk anywhere from $250,000 to several $1 million a mile. It just depends. It depends on if you're looking for a road that's just gonna stand up to the traffic 8 months out of the year, or if you're looking at something that's gonna stand up to the traffic, 12 months out of the year during the breakup. But it's really wide open because I don't know the base and the sub-base of that road, so I can't really tell you exactly what it would take to rebuild it. I do know it's a 22-foot surface with narrow shoulders, so it's not one of our wider roads. And then leaving that area, I don't know, depending on which direction you're headed, you're gonna run into some road that's a lot worse than what is currently right out front of the property that they purchased.
Just a hypothetical question. If they came to you with a driveway or road access request, would you give it to them if it was unsafe?
No, I would
Thank
not. They're gonna need 8 seconds, at least 8 seconds, 495 feet of stopping distance, and that's one thing, the first thing that they will need is a driveway permit.
No. Any other questions from the board itself, or Randy, or?
I just got, like I mentioned, where Supervisor Crest mentioned a very good thing on a vote, democracy on a vote, and it was 3-2 or whatever it was. I think the citizens of Franklin should have been granted that before it even got here, a chance to vote on if they would like that. Then the majority of the people could have spoke at let their vote ride.
You mean a referendum?
Referendum.
Yeah, and I guess we don't have any control over that, the town does?
Because, Mr. Chairman, we're 19 people here, and we're gonna decide for these people what they're gonna get. It's either a no or a yes. If they decide for their own fate, then that's their prerogative. That's, they decide for themselves.
Let me just address that, Danny, because I think there may be some confusion on that issue. The decision to rezone, it cannot be based solely on popular vote, okay? If it's based solely on popular vote, and I'm not talking about popular vote of this board, if we're talking about the popular vote of the residents of the town of Franklin, a court would view that as being arbitrary, because there's no basis for that other than the popular vote. Okay, so this board, in determining whether or not to grant or deny the petition for rezone, has to go beyond just what the individual residents of the town of Franklin want. They have to state specific, cogent reasons for their decision. Okay?
Okay, I think we all understand that information.